to you, obviously you've had to study Lee Harvey Oswald. Who is he to you? What kind of a person was he? You know, we've read all about it. We've seen his, inspiration, his wife, what he was linked to. We heard what he did to different folks. Who is Lee Harvey Oswald to you?
Well, Lee Harvey Oswald, I believe, is probably the most complex 24-year-old that probably anybody has ever studied. I mean, this is a guy who has so many facets to him, so many unusual moves to his life, okay, that even though he only lived to 24, people have written books about him, all right? In my opinion, I believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was recruited into intelligence work at a relatively young age. I mean, how many Marines study the Russian language, okay? How many Marines then get a hardship discharge 6 months before they're supposed to be regular discharged, then go ahead and travel into Europe and then the Soviet Union and try to bargain with them about selling them secrets of the U-2 plane, and then get shipped 400 miles out of Moscow to Minsk because the KGB thinks he's a spy, all right? Then he comes back home, and now listen to this carefully. We're supposed to believe Oswald is a Marxist, right? Who does he live with first? The white Russian community, who want to overthrow Khrushchev and bring back the Tsar, all right? And then where does he go next? To New Orleans. Cuban exiles who want to overthrow Castro and bring back Batista. What kind of a communist does that kind of stuff, all right? And then he goes back to Dallas, and he's so lucky to get this job at the Texas School Book Depository, which just happens to be the building that the parade is going to take a right turn in front of. So the secrets of Lee Harvey Oswald are still coming out. Yeah. All right. Do I have a couple minutes to explain a very interesting thing? They declassified the work of a woman named Betsy Wolfe, who worked for the House Select Committee. Her job was to study the CIA file on Oswald. She asked for every division's charter. I think there's 9 in the CIA, all right? She read over every charter, studied it, all right? And then she did an imaginary graph. This is what Oswald's file should have done at the CIA, okay? And then she goes, okay, I'm ready for the file. She studies the file. Guess what, Patrick? It didn't do that. It didn't do anything like that, all right? His files should have gone to what we call the SR division, Soviet Russia. They didn't go there. They went to some place called the Office of Security. Why is that significant? The Office of Security does not set up a 201 file, all right, which that was the most common file in the whole CIA, all right? And everybody had access to it. So she started interviewing people. And she finally found a guy who was running Robert Gambino, who was running the Office of Security at that time. And this is what he said. He said, look, it doesn't matter how many documents come in. It doesn't matter how they're pre-stamped. If the client goes to a place called the Office of Mail Logistics, they will only send his files to that department. What this means is that somebody was rigging Oswald's file in the CIA in 1959 as he's going to the Soviet Union. Why would you do that? Well, it was so unusual that those memos, if you can believe this, those memos didn't get printed in the HSCA volumes, all right? And in fact, her work is all handwritten. In other words, it never got typed in the memorandum form. The only reason we know about it is because the ARB put what they call the delayed release number on her memoranda. What that means is they figured that this can be declassified in, say, 2004, and this was declassified in 2005. That's how secret the life and career of Lee Harvey Oswald is.
So with all the craziness taking place, I believe future looks bright. If you believe future looks bright, get your latest Future Looks Bright hat of Valuetainment. It says Future Looks Bright here, Future Looks Bright here. We got them in white, we got them in black, we got them in red. Our black on black sold out. These are about to sell out. If you haven't ordered one yet, we had a person in Michigan, bought one, then he bought three. Then when those three people weren't in the office, they had to order 58 of them because people wanted the Future Looks Bright hat, especially during times like this, because ain't nobody saying Future Looks Bright. To order your Future Looks Bright hat, click over here. And to watch the entire podcast, click here. Take care, everybody.